Now, large-scale NATO military drills are in full swing in Germany, with almost 5,000 servicemen from 17 countries taking part. It's the latest stage of Operation Atlantic Resolve, a series of over 30 war games in Europe taking place throughout the year. While the war games inspired the units involved to post some upbeat promotional videos online. Despite the PR campaign, locals in some places were a bit unhappy about NATO tanks rolling through their streets.
Army, go home! Army, go home!
The Czech Republic saw protests during the Dragoon Ride, one of the previous stages of the war games, as several hundred gathered in Prague with the slogan, "Tanks, no thanks." About 1,000 anti-war activists also marched through the German capital to oppose the NATO show of force, not just in Berlin, but also in Bulgaria. Locals there protesting the presence of alliance bases in their country. But what's actually the reason behind such a massive build-up of forces in Europe?
NATO is now facing threats both from the east and from the south.
NATO has issued a warning about the build-up of Russian forces along the border with Ukraine.
The organisation said that Russian military activity had been considerable in the last few months.
Russian aggression is a clear and present danger, at least if media headlines are to be believed. They often refer to Russia's own military exercises conducted within Russia's borders, while the NATO exercises see American troops crossing the Atlantic Ocean and making their presence evident in many parts of Europe, particularly coming close to that of the Russian border, as you can see there on the map. The Ukrainian crisis is often cited as an example of Russian aggression, but that's a mere pretext, according to Rick Rozoff from the Stop NATO network.
The fact that the Ukrainian crisis is being exploited as the pretense for an acceleration of plans long underway, years, decades underway already, for NATO expansion to contain and besiege Russia. The Minsk arrangement, or the Normandy 4 arrangement with Ukraine, which should have led to a de-escalation of U.S. and NATO military buildup along Russia's western borders, led to precisely the opposite. They're preparing for a direct military confrontation with Russia. I think that's an inescapable conclusion. There's an effort to portray Russia, which is the victim and not the perpetrator of this military expansion, as being the aggressor, and NATO, which is transparently and irrefutably the aggressor, is being portrayed as a defensive force. So you're seeing a pretty formidable military buildup in Eastern Europe, and again, this goes from the Barents Sea down to the Black Sea.
Italian pizza makers are crossing swords with McDonald's over the following TV advertisement.
Volete ordinare? E tu che pizza vuoi?
Un Happy Meal.
Tuo figlio non ha dubbi.
Yeah, but some Italians are clearly not loving it. They've taken to Twitter to voice support for one of their country's best-known culinary treasures. In fact, one pizza enthusiast even made a counter-advertisement.
Prego, grazie. E tu che cosa vuoi?
Papà, ma che mi fa questa schifezza? Io voglio la pizza.
Yeah, we did speak to Massimo Di Porzio from the True Neapolitan Pizza Association. He told us why he's so upset.
We feel offended because they compared two different products. The pizza napoletana is one of the main food attraction of the Italian culture. We are sure that pizza is very healthy because respects all the criteria of Mediterranean diet. We can't stand that the McDonald's, such big enterprises, uses the kids to promote their product, the healthy of the kids to promote their product.
Well, we did ask McDonald's for their reaction. They said the company is simply trying to promote its brand in a fun and engaging way. And McDonald's pointed out that they do source ingredients locally. It's not just Italian chefs who are putting pressure on McDonald's. Fast food workers have been protesting against low wages across the United States. The campaign is known as Fight for $15, and it's happening in at least 8 states with the ambition of going global. But it's not the first movement of its kind. More stories after a very short break, including Britain angers peace activists by taking a stand against an international ban on robotic killing machines. We're back in just a sec.